Hello, Self, Infinite Cosmos, Ohana, Soul Dashnik here. It is April 4th, 2025, 4-4. 44 is my age right now. It is Friday. It's around 6:20 a.m., so between first light and sunrise. Clear friggin' skies. I can see the blue. I can see the kind of more whitish. I can see the yellow off in the distance. Just gonna go over this way. Yeah. This is magic mirror work. It is cold out here this morning. It's got a chill because it's that clear skies. That what I've learned traditionally, high pressure system, although I'm realizing I don't know anything about anything in a way. I say that, oh, lost me. I say that because I've been listening to who I call Papa Jack Cruz. And as I listen to him, I realize, man, there's so many things I don't know. So many things I don't know. Light, UV light, how we're releasing and creating the chemicals early in the morning like this by being in this balance of near infrared light, red light, UV light, blue light mixture that's only available in the morning and at sunset. Give me over here for a second. I'll change this camera for a second. Boop. Just changing where it is. Oh, got a bit of a headache. I had a little hape last night during our founders meeting and really just felt like it knocked me off my feet. I didn't take it as consciously as I could have. I rushed a little bit. Before the meeting, what I did was I did 1,000 breaths, which is really awesome. And it's been 2 days in a row of that. I might start doing some more of that. 1,000 breaths is just, it's about a 1 count in, 1 count out. And just going, not pushing and not slowing down. Except when I essentially am gone for a little bit and then I come back and I start again. And it's when I'm coming back from taking a little bit of a nap or a little bit of rest. And I hadn't intended on doing that. Either day. And it just started coming. It's like, all right, let's practice working this diaphragm out. Maybe that's why my gut's a little sore because I'm working out the diaphragm more. And it's interesting coming to this cough. It's almost like, do I feel sick or not kind of cough? So, this morning's work will be slowing down a little bit. And that's part of it for me. I've been noticing my ability to follow through, to commit to some things is changing my own narrative. Even this magic mirror work, even if it's not the right thing to do, I have been doing it since the end of January. So February, March for sure, at least 2 full months, I've been doing daily videos. And what happens when I start recording daily and posting regularly? Everything. I'm up to 69 subscribers on YouTube, 35 hours in the last 28 days, way more than before. And who knows where it's going to get to next. But it's kind of funny. These numbers give me a little bit of excitement to show that something is happening. It doesn't mean I'm on the right track. A lot of people are not watching a lot of my stuff for very long, and that's okay. I'm not quite connecting, and that's okay, because that initial connection is with myself, that play. Because really, life right now is how do I keep connecting back to myself, to be living my best life, to be noticing when I get into the rumination, into the patterns, into the stuckness, and then be able to shift myself out as well. So doing this for the last couple months, and this is the transition out of doing the regular enemas that I had done for about 600 days. I've been so proud of those enemas, and now I realize they were great, and it doesn't supersede the sun. And this is the last thing I've just started, a week of sunrise, like first light sunrise. And it's layering things on. And before that, it was doing the Fit for Service for a whole year, like committing to a whole year-long container, spending more money than I could have imagined. Essentially, all the money that I was making that year was being spent on Fit for Service. And I couldn't explain why, except that I got called into Fit for Service from listening to the podcasts about the Fourfold Song of Solomon, listening to Eric and Kyle and Caitlin chat with Aubrey, not realizing who they were at the time, and then stepping into this container and just trusting it and evolving with it. And it was definitely a part of me stepping into myself as a man, stepping out of the shadow of the father, because I had to tell my beloved, I'm like, I'm gonna do this thing. I have a good reason, even though I don't have a good reason. And it was a challenge being away from the family so much, but it was worthwhile. And then setting a Fit for Service before that, it was working with different medicine men. And they were amazing medicine men. And then before that, and amongst all that, was breath work. I did breath probably over 1,000 sessions in a row. I did the presence process twice. And doing all those breaths for myself. So I've been doing the reps, different kinds of reps. And then amongst all this is having a child. That's the biggest rep of all. Like, as much as everything else, I can be like, okay, I'm gonna take a day off. There is and there isn't a taking a day off from being a father. Like the remembrance of it even, when I'm conscious of it versus trying to numb it, because I haven't been taking anything to numb myself. I haven't done that since I left drinking regularly in 2018. Yeah, that even, 7 years. Went from 69 bottles of wine that we got in 3 days, and we're gonna have the last one this Mother's Day, the last one on my side at least, to, I don't know when was the last time I bought a bottle of wine for me. And then, yeah, today finding out things, or yesterday, listening to Jack Cruz, he's like, I don't eat chicken. He's like, it's not that you can't, but I don't eat chicken. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Duck, okay, chicken, no. All right. Am I willing to step into that? Sure. Have I said that before? Eating chicken feels like I'm eating a brainless, bred out bird? Yes. Is there a reason maybe all the avian flu and everything? Maybe. Spitting. So starting to spit now. That was something that my beloved got in my life. And it's funny, I'll be talking to a friend today, and for her, it was introducing the idea of spitting as well. Letting it go, letting things go. I have no idea what we're talking about today. And it's going to be a practice to be with and be in consideration. Neither resist nor give in. It's a paradox. Neither resist nor give in. Flow. Flow with it. Flow with me. And part of this for me is just the ability to jump around. It's practice. It's practice to jump around and dance in my own mind. And to see when I get to the points where I really feel connected with me, where I'm excited. And then this morning, it's noticing, looking out at the horizon, looking out at the sun, not a pixelated image of the horizon or the sun, where my eyes are actually receiving all these different inputs of color changes that are happening so quickly, versus seeing the reality and the normal transitions that happen in reality with the full spectrum of light, with the full resolution. And my eyes are not trying to refocus on something that has a bunch of blue light and then refocus and shift out, which can cause the acute macular degeneration as well as eventually the retinal detachment, as well as the myopia, and as well, the body may be protecting itself by making cataracts. All these interesting thoughts, or even floaters deflecting things. And all these mechanisms may or may not be true. It's another story that feels like it makes a little bit more sense at this moment. And so I can choose to, and I am choosing to adopt a little bit, to try it on. It's like trying on clothing. I've got a full closet of clothing. I don't always wear the same crazy clothing every day. Some days I wear the stuff just to blend in. And I nod and I smile and people assume that they know who I am. Some days I wear the bright, loud colors and I'm like really contrarian. That's sometimes challenging, especially for those closest to me. And then some days I'm just flying my freak flag and just wearing my psychedelic clothes or my facilitator clothes or my old ratty clothes or new clothes. That's an idea. Like, what if the thoughts, the beliefs, those structures are just clothes that I'm wearing? What clothes do I want to wear today? And how is it that we're getting patterned in over and over again, that we have to find a set of beliefs, adopt it, and then stick to it? And that's what I really liked about watching the Bob Dylan movie. He's like, nah, man, I don't have to be defined by the cages of you that I am a folk singer. Now, do I agree that he needed to shift at the festival like that? I don't know if that's the case, because if people want to go to hear something, they're allowed to. But that's part of who he is. And they had a choice. They had a choice to be like, all right, you know what? We're going to change the headliner. And they didn't. So there's that piece too, right? Like if you're going to have him, you know the unknown entity that he is. So if you really want to go with the unknown entity that he is, it comes with all the parts of him. And that's the PCC. And he got just enough support from Johnny Cash, who's also another kind of rebel. And I think there was the Johnny Cash story, Walk the Line, which now I'm interested in watching as well. Because he's got some really interesting music as well. And these are not easy lives they lived. And it's interesting to remind myself of the 1960s. Like, if I think right now was challenging, man, the first time hearing on the news there might be nuclear war that totally bombs the eastern seaboard of the United States, and that we might not be here tomorrow, I can't imagine that kind of panic. And my parents were in Hong Kong. They did not receive those same kinds of messages. My mom and dad were born in 51, 52, so it was just after the war. But what they did get born into was quite a bit of poverty, the idea of starvation, the idea that things could really fall apart, that war could be around the corner again. Because really, when I was born in the 80s, in Canada, as much as there's the idea of the war, there wasn't the war at the same time. There was the idea of safety, of peace, of stability, of structure. I don't remember ever growing up thinking, oh my God, things are really gonna fuck up. And, you know, this quote unquote longest era of peacetime, for me growing up in this area, and what am I willing to do to maintain the peace? And I think that's different from what I'm being told needs to be done to maintain the peace. Right now, there's an idea that most of us have bought into this mass psychosis, have become yes men. And I love the shows like Mad Men. The Mad Man is one who is in the ad business, first of all, but also recognizes it's about becoming a black swan, becoming contrarian, do something different, because you get known for the thing that you do that's different, and then you start doing that over and over again because everyone's expecting you to do the same. And consistently reinventing self is not easy. How to consistently reinvent self. And then for myself right now is, how do I do it differently? One of my former teachers, I can see his probably biggest shift is tuning in and tapping in with someone who's got a large platform, who is speaking praises of him. And for me, It's less about being dependent on someone else saying praises of me versus getting myself out there on a platforms where I can speak more clearly, more articulately about who I am, how I'm showing up, what I'm trying to create. And that's part of it today. I'm looking at the clouds and they're pinkish. Blue skies. A big part of this is founding Ohana Sage the way I want to live, to interact, to react to those closest to me. And a big part of it is stepping into the container of my own family, seeing what comes up, because it's not trying to do this as opposed to my family, but in addition to. It's being so clear, and I've got to get clear every time, because it's like, oh man, like I'm either spending time with my son and my beloved and my cat, or I'm not. And when I'm not, I want to make sure it's worthwhile. And how do I define worthwhile? How do I define that I'm certain that this is the place I want to spend my time? And even this morning is like, people would be like, you're doing all this crazy stuff. Part of it is because I have the freedom to be with the sunrise. And then how do I protect the sunrise time too? Because if this is really that important, then have the podcast just before or just afterwards, like outside the hour golden window at least. And that hour golden window is going to change. Okay. Making random noises. Being with the doubts, letting them keep coming up, letting the fears come up, and just noticing. There's that initial excitement. Yeah, this is going well, this is going well. Oh crap, what's going on? Let's jump ship. No, let's not jump ship. We're gonna stay together until we get back to, oh, we're excited. And this first 3 months foundational, like we've created the website, we've created the retreat, we have the products available right now that we want to fill. And we have the tools to actually follow through with what we want to do. Now, how do we actually fill them? Okay, well, how do I get clear on this message? All right. It's a 5-month container, and the actual time investment, if you take a look at the totality of it all, is really about 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days. And why is that so important, spreading it out that way? Or it's just over a week, about 10 days total. Why is it so important? A, because the story of I don't have enough time, it's possible, and then I don't have enough money, it's possible, I don't have enough energy. The biggest thing is, do you have a big enough dream or vision? Not something to fix either, although that can be part of it. That's why I love that I have the story of ayahuasca and healing from my lifelong asthma. And over again, feeling better and better, more attuned with my body. You're gonna get attuned with your body. Part of it is getting clear on the dreams you're really willing to step into. That's why we have an intention call, because it's not, we just don't want you to think you want something. It's like we want you to feel certainty that you want something. And then going from want to actually gratitude is already done. Like you feel the certainty of, oh my God, with this kind of facilitation, facile, make easy, it can be easy, lucrative, and fun, because we want all those things. And then taking a look at the soul, how do you tune into yourself and your purpose over and over again? And that's me, even every day. If I'm not tuning into myself and retuning into myself, I'm losing sight. Mind, body, soul, and then bringing it all together. So you are the medicine. So yes, we have medicine ceremonies, but there's so many people that dive into medicine over and over and over again. And there are some of us that will be stepping into the medicine space regularly. Myself as a medicine man, carrier, facilitator, guide, yes. And with my familiarity, I may dive into it for different reasons. And I've already been told there will be a time when I go beyond the medicine. Not that it's better than, but it's reminding me of the medicine that lives inside of me too. And how do I support others to do this in such a conscious way? I've had people who come who are using Hape so regularly they can't even stop. And I remind them, just make a little ceremony out of it. Give it a half an hour ceremony. And if you're doing it every hour, your brain's gonna be like, every hour I'm gonna do a half hour ceremony and see which part overrides first. And for some people, it's the repetitive nature. Because if you're actually doing that repetitive ceremony, and that's part of it for me this morning, it's like doing this repetition with the magic mirror work helps me to see myself over and over again, which makes it easier and quicker to catch myself, which makes it easier for this transition from, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to get out of bed, to now I do have an alarm because I am sleeping in and trying to sleep for more of the night, to, okay, I'm going to get out in the sunshine because it matters to me and it means something to me and I'm going to do it. Ah. Ooh. Oh, that felt good. Sneezing and sex magic and mini orgasms. Forgot about that sex magic. Actually, bringing clarity, intention, desire into that moment of climax. Okay. All these ideas that have been planted in my brain, planted in the seeds, planted in my consciousness. All these trainings that are available. Oh my God. Whether it's DeMartini, whether it's Awaken, whether it's Inquiry, whether it's more Aubrey stuff. All these things are possible. And then how do I just create the thing that I want to create? Letting go of the part that isn't something I have to do. I don't need to be the one to manage all the coaches that need to come in. Marika is our lead coach. She can lead that team. I can poke, provoke, point, love, grasp, react. I can remind people, book another call. Book another call. Just book another call. It's all good. Gotta have that reason for being, that reason for coming, that reason for wanting to dive in. What is my reason for wanting to be on a podcast aside from wanting to promote myself and what we're up to? And that's not a bad reason either. So letting myself know that's not a bad reason. Getting that message out there. Hanging my sign on the doorstep. And it's the difference between just putting up a little sign and hoping that people notice it versus going down the street and just talking, getting on the radio. And this is the new radio. This is the medium that I want to connect with people, long format, curiosity. Talk about that business, talk about that friendship, talk about what's come out of Fit for Service. Talk about the Dharma artist. Talk about the fact of just posting something regularly. Talk about my own dad being on my podcast now, not being on my podcast, being on my breath now. Having these moments of clarity, being with my brother who's passed away, being with Fabian, and drawing on all these supports. That's part of it too. Am I willing to actually step into the currency of trust? I imagine, I believe the trust is there. Is it actually there? Is it actually there? Ooh, some different mountains I've never noticed in the background in the distance, and I can see them now in the haze. And then it's funny, 7.83 hertz is what's vibrating through the atmosphere. I always thought it was coming from the core of the earth, the Schumann resonance, but it might actually be coming from the atmosphere, the ionosphere, and the EMF, non-native EMF pollution may be shifting that even the tiniest bit. And then we're focused on this materialistic world of, oh, the oceans cleaning up little plastic, oh, the straws. That is such a piece of bullshit. Man. even right now, the half-assed way of doing recycling or composting or things like that. And it's not trying to negate the people who are doing their part, but rather, how do we really step into everyone doing what they're most called to, and stepping into doing some of the things out of love versus obligation, approval, fear of disapproval. That's probably one of the biggest things right now, is everyone's fearful of disapproval. That includes me. Stepping into the medicine space, there's a fear of disapproval from my own family too. And then letting it go. It's trusting the process, the progress that I'm making. Trusting the process and the progress. Hello, crows. Podcasts. Aubrey getting on Joe Rogan is a big thing. Me getting an Aubrey or equivalent of Aubrey is going to be a big thing. Danny Morell. Diary of a CEO. Modern Wisdom. Take a second, take a step back. Notice the hard questions that can come up. Notice the soft questions that can come up. Notice the stories that can come up. Notice myself refining my own story. What is my origin story? And that's the thing, after listening to Demartini enough, he goes through his origin story in different ways. He's got a short form, medium form, long form of it. Chinese immigrant kid who, at this point, I didn't think was going to be alive. I recognize I've had many near-death experiences, many self-harm experiences, and has gone through what's supposed to be the pinnacle, which is going through medical school, training to become a doctor, and then burning out. So I can't say I've done 20 years there. I thankfully learned how to quit a little bit sooner than that. And I didn't learn how to quit. I was, in a way, I had to throw myself off the cliff over and over again until I finally was like, I can't get back up. I got to experience a lifelong disease. Diseases, asthma, ADHD. Got to experience anxiety, depression, PTSD. Got to experience multiple infections every year, 2 times a year. Got to experience all the vaccinations. Got to experience having structure, so much structure, rigidity, strictness, control, testing, wanting blessings of other people, wanting their approval. And stepping into a life where every day I get to choose. Every day I get to fucking choose. It's a lie when I tell myself I don't. Like, and I remind myself of that. And I've noticed, like, the only person stopping me from walking out is me. Now, it's not also true that that's the case. Part of it is the relationships we've developed. But there's a part of me, and I honor that part, that can always be like, you know what? Out the door, let's make life easier. Let's become a hermit. And I also know that will never happen. And it's not because of obligation. It's because I desire, not just desire, I have gratitude for being part of this family, this container, learning from my son. That's the thing that's changed too. He's my teacher. If I thought that I'm here to sacrifice my life for him, there's a piece of that. But the big thing is he's my teacher. He reminds me of me over and over again. He's such a mirror. He'll start singing randomly now. He's goofy. He's sometimes quiet. Sometimes he curls up in a ball and just shuts down. It's like all these behaviors, ways of being. I'm like, thank you for mirroring me. Thank you for being you, because he's doing it in his own way. He's making his own choices. Sometimes they're frustrating, sometimes they're fun. And then I recognize, how do I create my life where I'm not trying to rush from one thing to another? Enough spaciousness in the calendar. And in that spaciousness, choosing to have some more things in there. I've listened to so many people, whether it's Naval, Tim Ferriss, Aubrey Marcus, Peter Crone, Jerry Sargent even, listening to Gaia TV, listening to my former teachers, like listening to them over and over again in ceremony as they talk. And I've taken on a lot of those parts. And there's so many little stories that can come up, whether it's being there for CPR on someone, whether it's being there for the birth of my son, whether it's healing from asthma, whether it's guided to the breathwork, whether it's guided to reach out and facilitate a best-selling author, someone we just met. It's like, oh my God. But I had such a calling to do that. And when I have clarity, I just do it. And how do I reach out now again from that place of clarity and certainty? And if I totally screw up, then I totally screw up. If I totally screw up, then I totally screw up. If I totally screw up, then I totally screw up. If I totally screw up, then I totally screw up. Interesting that I need to say that a few times to notice that voice sitting in the background. If I totally screw up, then I totally screw up. There have been stories of screw up, whether it's when I was elected premier and I was like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, part of it is jumping so far so fast. And the fear of, oh my God, is someone gonna slap my hand? Like, it's different if I've got 20 years under my belt and I've been struggling and I've followed the Shipibo tribes or followed this lineage, and now I can stand behind that, even if you criticize me. And now I can't say that. I can't. If you want to dive into the depth of knowledge that some people have, my depth in the traditional sense of facing the peer-reviewed scientific inquiry isn't the same. Facing the esoteric side where they're like, they can recite specific things and say specific things, not the same. And part of it for me is not trying to step into the ability to just recite. And not hiding from it now too. There's some things that, like, sometimes I'm remembering names and people are like, how do you remember that? I'm like, I don't know. It's not bad that I remember some stuff. But that's not the main thing. I'm not here to give you a thing where I'm saying I'm smarter than you. And I'm so grateful I've got this amazing body worker, Joni, and we dive into it. And like, when it comes down to it, I'm like, she knows more than I do in a lot of ways. And what I love is that my ability to listen to some of the subtle processes and then help her see it a little bit more has been really supportive. And she's another person to dive into. How can I be on another podcast? How can I be on another podcast? How can I be on another podcast? Releasing my own and being on others. Releasing my own and being on others. Loving so many people from Fit for Service, sending them some love. And remembering that moment, the moment with Matthias DeStefano in the middle of the Merkaba, sending the energy backwards and forwards through time, sending it out, sending it in, and noticing, why was I the one there? Why, of all things, all the synchronicities, to remind myself of the synchronicity of this life, to receive that kind of a blessing. That really was a blessing, that gift. I couldn't have asked for a better gift. That remembrance, and it truly was a remembrance, getting to serve and play and trust and being in a container where it felt so safe to play. And then now getting to lead from a space of play, creating the containers of the size where I can play. And that's part of it. That's part of me stepping in one step at a time. And this is the next step. And I'm stepping in from a place of play. And I'm creating it for the sustainability for the play. I'm creating it so that when someone is in, they're in. And I'm so transparent, I can actually say my own money stuff and notice when I'm making things complex and confusing. So my team, my loved ones nearest me, can help refine me. Got it. So if I'm asking someone to come in not as a client, but as a partner, I really want you to come in more as a partner, but only you can step in, because we can't say yes to you until you're stepping in. No, we can't. we're not going to say yes to until you're stepping in, until the intent is clear, until that container is clear, because it will be a mirror, and it will be a mirror from a place of love. All right, that is much more clear. That's the difference too, a mirror in everyday life, a mirror in breath, a mirror in surprise and delight. It's been fun to gift something, to surprise and delight. To surprise and delight. I'm seeing the light coming up behind those big buildings. This is south facing, but it may not be directly south, or maybe it is. Maybe the sun's going to start coming up directly over there. I don't know. More yellowish, more blue. Little bit of the warmer glows down lower in the horizon over there. Not really seeing much of the pink anymore. But I'm glad I'm here looking into as much of the sunlight as I can. Not grounding into the earth the way that he fully recommends, because I don't have the earth here, but I'm gonna be next to these plants and maybe they'll serve a little bit. It's not even 7 a.m. yet, I'm just noticing. The roar was to remind me, magic mirror work, not doing this for you, doing this for me, as me, by me, through me. Looking forward to having editors in my life to help me with distributing the content, with reminding me of what it is that they're looking for from curiosity to say. Name, fame, aim, game. So Soul Dr. Nick, fame, worked with, can say I've been a part of Fit for Service, worked with Aubrey Marcus, delivering breath, worked with Awaken Breathwork, worked with some amazing teachers, facilitated best-selling authors and more. Healed from my own lifelong asthma, healed from my ADD, have a founding team now, and family, and I'm alive now. Used to be a medical doctor, and now I'm working as a soul doctor, and looking to create containers which hold creators so safely that they can step into the fullness of who they are. And that's by doing it over a long enough period of time so that they can actually step in the real world. That's a depth of container, breath, and other guidance into a medicine journey that feels so safe. And then guiding back from there so that there's such a deep integration that it just becomes part of life. You take this anchor moment, it's probably going to be one of the top 5 spiritual experiences in your life up to that point. That has been fairly commonly reflected back. Even people who've done like hundreds of ayahuasca ceremonies have come back going, oh, okay. And part of it, it's because it really plays and dances with you. People are like, what are the medicines using? Well, it's a stack. It keeps shifting depending on the person, but involves usually a heart opener, usually a little bit of a mischievous psychedelic, usually a embodier, even though it's a dissociative, and then stepping into the God molecule. And these are the ones that have been my allies. And I'll be taking medicines with you. And you'll be combining that with your own breath, and you'll be combining that with the space that you're in, and you'll be combining that with music, with sound, with touch. All these modalities going together. And you may be like, well, that's a lot of ceremonies. And I'm not saying that I'm doing something that has never been done before. I may find someone else doing exactly the same thing. That's fantastic, actually. It's not that there isn't enough of this work to do. I'm doing it in my own unique combination because I'm willing to do that. And as I'm doing it, my ceremonies, there's a lot more talking, especially from me usually. But what's really going on, and we get to that point, is you realize the talking's coming less from me. Rather, it's coming from you through my voice so you can hear it through your own ears. So you're slowing your thoughts down to the speed of sound and grounding them into your mind, body, and soul so that they sit as messages there. And we have microphones on, so we're recording this as best as we can so that you can come out, look at the transcription, read the transcription, be with the transcription, then choose, and then choose, and then choose. Such an interesting concept to both be with the audio, the video, and everything else in between. The audio, the video, and everything else in between. Hello, Mr. Slug. And then when we come out of it, I've gotten a team to help me with that integration process, with bringing things back home, with landing the ship again. I've been really good at helping take the ship off, really getting clear on sending the rocket ship off. Now, how do we catch the ship and send it over and over again? It's kind of like that SpaceX thing. It's like great for us to send something into orbit. Man, I've done that work. But now it's a fine tune, another kind of layer of fine tune, precision detail of letting that rocket come back down, catching it, and then getting ready to send back up again over and over again. That's my team with the deep soul coaching, with the deep connections. And then you get to choose, is this for me? There's so many people that have been so used to doing this in a group setting or with others. And what they really could benefit is actually first investing in themselves. This is fully for you. And then from there, getting clear, what are the groups that I actually want to step into? One of the greatest things I remember hearing from Aubrey is when he goes to see and sit in these group ayahuasca ceremonies now, he's very selective who he's choosing to sit with. And now I realize that's what I want to do too. I'm very selective who I'm choosing to sit with. Very selective who I'm choosing to sit with. More so probably than the facilitator in some ways. So many ways to play and pray and explore. Okay. What else is there? What else is there? What else is there? Sending a lot of love from my brothers who are going to go through their own little ceremony tomorrow. What else is there? Getting clearer and clearer what I'm offering. And then when I bring people into the home, when I bring people into my way of parenting, that's been a big piece as well, like how I parent. It's not to say that I'm doing it right. Part of it actually is to let go of it being right. Like there's no way I can get it right, no way I can get it wrong. And I feel often I'm getting it wrong or feel often I'm getting it right because it's part of the patterning. The patterning before is I can do things right. Gymnastics, piano, school, I can get 100%. But also then I'm always looking at an external authority figure. And now it's looking at internal locus. And then as well, it's been an inspiration to be able to support people to have their own babies. Awesome. 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 And how many people have? And I know that I've played my part without having to take any ownership over that part. It's like, okay. Some of them have more kids than I have now already. Okay. So grateful for these fathers and these mothers. Pure creation. I can't think of a more profound pure creation. And there's the things that the world values even more in a way. The sun's actually hitting me now. The screen suddenly got brighter as well. It's like, I gotta compete with the sun. Sun. One of my clients from coaching, from the days I did coaching, I did a year-long container there too. The most expensive one I could find. And the one that didn't have the credentialing the way that I should have before. It wasn't part of a university. Wasn't feeling professional enough, but they were able to help me see, you're in a black and white world. Are you willing to actually take a look at the rainbow? And now more and more, I'm seeing the rainbows. I'm seeing how I've been in a black and white world. Okay. And I'm curious, should I be looking in the direction of the sun? Or is it being in the shade of it and just looking at the sky? Or is both okay? So I'm still learning how to do these things. Over and over again, learning how to do life better. Seeing my own breath. Whoa. Closing eyes and feeling loss of balance. Achoo! Achoo! Oh, loving that sneeze. I'll be speaking with my dear friend Judy today, and she's been so kind to me, so generous in co-creation. That's how I've been co-creating, getting trust to myself with breath, especially, with my own medicine work, and just trusting that process. And sometimes that's one of my greatest joys that I've had, is I facilitated a number of facilitators. And when I get to do that, I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you for your own courage. Thank you for choosing to sit into this space. Thank you for allowing me to sit with you. And then I've guided people into their own practices too. Thank you. Thank you for letting me support you being guided into your own practice. I think it's amazing. And I think it's amazing you didn't learn from me because I don't have a formal training program and I don't need to have one yet. That's not my primary goal right now. And that's part of it, is having the humility. And I'm looking off in the distance away from the sun just to have this angle, just to see what it's like. To not have a formalized training program yet. And as often as possible, bringing in the angels, bringing in the space holders, bringing in the sovereign beings that want to sit with me in these spaces. And teaching, learning, doing all at the same time. Teaching, learning, doing all at the same time. Using the eye contact, using the space, using the energetic movement, using the physical touch, using even the laying back and the requesting to receive, and being clear with that. Checking in on the room and then being able to fully trust that someone else has got the room. As much as possible. When I see fully, I notice there's a little piece of me that's still there because I recognize it. But in terms of looking at the 3D body, it looks like I'm just lying there, sleeping, resting, receiving. Always listening. Playing with the music. Being a little bit out there. Toying with it. Adjusting it. Listening to those little calls. Doing the prep work, but also doing the in-person adjusting. That's part of it for me. Like, I have the ability to be spontaneous. Because what I'm recognizing over and over again is I want to have a plan, and then the plan goes out the window in a way. And then how do I shift the words to be more precise? It's not that there's no rush. We're creating spaciousness. And that spaciousness, sometimes it's moving us from one spacious moment to the next. It's actually listening to the time window as well of the medicines and how they interact and how they play together. And diving people, you don't have to go down to the depths, but help you see. And that's part of it, seeing. Sometimes people be like, I want to end the ceremony and it feels so perfect and everyone feels lion and kumbaya. And one of my most powerful ceremonies, it ended in so much pain, headache, And I couldn't understand it. And then I realized part of it was a lesson for me. How can I have noticed this a little bit more? Because I knew, it's funny, in those moments I know this was inevitable. And then how can I acknowledge it for the person so they can see it? And then the last part is, how can I help them shift this a little bit without trying to shift it, because it may be their greatest gift is to sit in it. As long as the safety is there, the pain is welcomed. And oftentimes, and I have another person who's going through more pain, more inflammation, more healing than he could have imagined. There was so much there, and the body is finally feeling safe enough to show up as it is, to show up and start letting go, to show up and start transmuting some of these peptides and these stored chemicals. And then now I'm realizing, okay, how do we shift all that and do more of it with sunlight, with sunshine, with first morning light? What might be possible there? So, probably inviting people to see at least one sunrise before your ceremony, just to see. It doesn't matter how cold life is right now or how early it is, set your alarm, see at least one sunrise. Is that an eagle or a hawk, or is that just a seagull? Just a seagull, as if it's too common. And then try fasting for a day. Try the intermittent fasting. Try listening to the body and the food more. Try juicing. All these things to try. Try an enema. Clear out the shit. Try colon therapy, colon cleanse. Don't do some of these things too close to the actual ceremony, though. At least a week out. All these different modalities. Cold plunge, heat, sauna. I can say I've been in an ice bath now. Not very long, but I have been. Hot, cold therapy. Men's groups. I've been in men's groups as well. There's so many men's groups that are very much, let's go. And it's not that that's bad. There's such a place for it. It was important for me, and it is important for me still too. Getting the katanas and the swords and actually having competition, sacred competition, where people are like, you look like you wanted to kill me. It's like, I did, and I do. I'm here to destroy you in that moment and build you up. And it's having that gentleness, that clarity, and sometimes fumbling through the confusion. I had one person who wanted to change the music over and over again, and I had done the work to let go of needing to be right or telling her to shut up or closing her down, and that's what it was. It was a little girl pushing back at life, which had been telling her, this is the way you need to live. It's funny noticing some people who I've wanted to partner with, and I can see them as clients, and it gets messy. 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 This is like pouring accelerant. It's bringing consciousness into the accelerant. I love playing with fire. I do. So I got a fire right now. I'm gonna stand by it and have some juice in a second. Sometimes I get burned, and I'm learning from it. Sometimes things melt, especially when I'm wearing polyester or non-natural clothing, such as both of these. Most of my clothes right now, even though I'm trying to step into more natural materials, I'm wearing these out. And how is that not serving me by having all these artificial plastic fibers around me? Got it, that are slowly breaking down. Got it, that are getting in the air. Got it, that are getting in the lungs. Got it, that are incorporating the body. Got it, that I'm actually eating probably. Got it, it's just like the fur on the cat. It floats around everywhere. I'm eating the fur. I know that. All right. So I'm gonna let my beloved know, as she wants to step into natural materials, go ahead. And I'm ready to start letting go of some of these things. But these are the pieces that matter to me. I want warm stuff. I want comfy stuff. I want stuff that I can zip up and have regularly. Got it. And I'm gonna wear the nice stuff in the house. Because why wouldn't I? Got it. It's funny saying got it more. That's a Jack Cruz, Papa Jack Cruz kind of thing. Got it? So many podcasts, so many people, so many desires. It's time to get on. It's time to spread the word. And I go back and forth through time and perfection. Keep coming back to perfection. Like right now, right here, this moment, perfection. And what is it that I'm really working on? I'm working on letting go of those times when I feel completely stuck, triggered, shut down, wanting to say, why do I even exist? And does that still happen? Yes. Yes, it does. And is it always going to be the case? In a way, yes. It's kind of like when Ram Dass said one of his gurus, or his guru, he's like, do you experience anger? It's like, yep, that was anger. That was anger. They can experience it. They can even consciously put themselves in that state and then bring themselves back out. I think that's the piece. It's the same thing as doing cold plunges or hot stuff. It's you're constantly putting yourself in that state and bringing yourself back out. Noticing that you can be with these transitions. It's the same thing as me putting myself into magic mirror work, putting myself behind the camera, on the camera. I can put myself in the state, bring myself back out. Put myself in that state, bring myself back out. And coming back to authenticity, transparency, intimacy. Because that's what I want to be. I want to be authentic, transparent, and intimate with myself, first and foremost. Because when I have that, then it's not faking the authenticity, transparency, intimacy for you. The you being the you that's my family even. And giving up myself because it's so easy, because the patterning has been, oh, you got to be a martyr. You've got to give up. You've got to sacrifice. It's going to be hard. Oh, if you're going through the dark night of the soul, stay in the dark night of the soul. It's like, no. Stay in it if you choose to. Stay in it if I choose to. It's just like when I'm going to go into a darkness retreat at some point in time. Yeah, I'm going to go there probably for 5 days. But it's because I want to be in there for 5 days to see what's there on the other side. I have seen in a lot of ways what's on the other side of me going down this dark, depressive, suicidal, anhedonic hole for years. I don't think I'm going to be served in this lifetime as well as I can be by going down into that trail longer, or the realm of psychosis, or the realm of self-pain, or the realm of fighting and resisting the body. Instead of flowing with it, noticing the pain. Like, I remember feeling every single nerve in my body burning up on that second ayahuasca journey. Oh my God. And then going through every cell of my body through the first journey, going into nothingness, no thingness, truly no thingness. And the evidence was me biting myself when I first started coming back to say, grasp reality, grasp reality, grasp reality, grasp reality, grasp reality. And then what is reality? Like, there is that piece, is letting go of reality at times. The idea of the construct of reality of my brain, and then noticing we are creating every moment, every moment, every moment. And then what do I want to do? Do I want to impose my reality on others? And I have tried to, and that's the brain coming in going, instantaneously, this person appears now, and you're all going to see this and believe that I am amazing. And they're going to believe that too. Is that really what I want to do, just to prove myself like a magician? And it is magic. I am a magician. That's one of the archetypes I'm identifying with most. I'm stepping more into the king, more into the warrior, and more into the lover. And have those been much more dormant for a long time? Yes, because I've been outsourcing the king, going, please, 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 show me your king. Outsourcing the warrior, going, okay, I don't need to be handy. I don't need to be that kind of man. Outsourcing the lover even, All right, let's make sure I do the bare minimum because I'm feeling like, oh, I'm gonna get judged. It's gonna be a hard space to be in, all this stuff. And I know that more clearly now than ever. And then I forget, and then I know, and then I forget, and then I know. And that's part of doing this magic mirror work is as I'm seeing myself, being with myself, every time I forget, I'm remembering. And then I'm saying it out loud, and sometimes I'm like, oh, shit, I shouldn't say that out loud. Someone's gonna judge me. I'm gonna judge me. I'm gonna be embarrassed. That's why I just post these. I just post them and I let them go. I post them and I let them go. And they're noisy, and they're messy, and they're uncontrolled, and they're undefined. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I feel to heal. I always have a choice. Everything is a story. The only constant is change. Today is going to be a wunderbar day. I do what I love and I love what I do. If my mother was a mother I'd hope she'd be, I would not be the man I'm proud to be today. Crisis is the instantaneous recognition. Wisdom is the instantaneous recognition that crisis is a blessing. I'm a father, I'm a leader, I'm a facilitator, I'm a creator, I'm a guide, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a son. Each and every day, I'm having so much fun. I've written down a couple more and I can't remember them offhand, and I'll do them later until they get ingrained. Whatever I have done or I have not done, I'm worthy of love. Whatever I have done or have not done, I'm worthy of love. Whatever I have done or have not done, I'm worthy of love. And I say that I'm going back to the times when I totally failed on building a database for my dad, on doing this research for another doctor, on doing my own thesis. And it was funny, it was on mitochondrial DNA and muscles. Like, I failed at that. The research was crap, the analysis was crap, the statistics were crap. And I'm grateful that I did it. And I'm grateful that I learned mitochondrial DNA all comes from the maternal side. Interesting, these things happen. Interesting that mitochondria has been part of my life. Like, okay, literally you spent a whole summer, a whole year looking at this stuff. And you could have learned a lot more, but I didn't. And I did. How much of it is crap upon crap upon crap? How many of it is people just wanting to expand themselves? I had a lot of kind teachers. I failed in getting myself the pediatrics licensing, finishing that final exam. Like, I was honest the other day, it's like, yeah, I was 1 or 2 exams away from finishing, but really, I felt so out of it by that time that it was worlds apart. That's part of my stress. Like, people like, oh, just go back for a year and finish. Like, no, I'd be going back for all 4 years and really relearning it all. But now I'm learning from a place of half of the stuff that you're teaching me, I feel as, oh, wow, I don't want to say it, but I feel for me is a shit burger and a shit burger. It's crap on crap on crap. I cannot remember all these little details, algorithms, all that stuff for something that I don't really think is the outcome, but rather we've made something so complex and contrived upon ourselves to deal with these symptoms to create this little nominal change. And what's really happening, we forget about, we've never been taught, is a lot of the research that's really successful. Part of it is because who's leading that charge? They have such a belief in what they're doing. When you've got such a belief, like, that's part of it. When I was with Gilead and they had such an amazing drug, because it wasn't like, oh, 30%, it was like a 90-some% chance of getting this outcome that you think is a really good outcome. I don't know if it actually is. I imagine some people have side effects, but for the most part, wow, with that kind of certainty, that's going to be a really powerful effect. And it's the same thing with what I'm doing now. I'm creating a program where there's such a certainty. Such a certainty. I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring, what today's going to bring. I have certainty that I am so much more of me than I've ever been. Is life 1% better every day this year? Yes. Yes. Objectively and subjectively, yes. Now, the objective part that's not there, wow, with the markets going the way they are, whew, if I was still so tied to my net worth in that way, holy tamale. I've dropped like 30, 40% from the height this year. Why didn't I sell? Oh yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm still trying to figure this life out. So many things. So many things. Old school USB cable. I'm sure someone's got one. I love this life. This life ain't good enough, I guess. I'm a to better suit your mood, 'cause I'm so smooth. All right, so it's probably, if this is an hour in, around 7:20, 7:25 in the morning. In about 20 minutes, I'll probably close this up, if not beforehand. It's the budding of life. It's a spring season. It's a spring season right now. We've come out from winter, we're into spring. And just noticing, I've had such a discomfort in my gut since I contemplated being on podcasts, like being on, let's be clear, being on Aubrey Marcus's podcast. I'm like, what is he gonna ask me? What is he gonna get into? Can I actually be present? Can I listen to his stories? Can I actually listen and be with him? Be with the warrior, the king, the magician, the lover that's in him? Be with his firmness and his clarity? Be with his directness? He can cut through things. And yes, and noticing who I was when I first started out that year, noticing who I ended with, shaving my head, letting go. Like, I did many physical things to truly embody who I was becoming. Letting go. I was like, I was defined by my long hair in a way. Let it go. Got shaved by a magician as well. Let it go. And he whispered some beautiful words in my ears. And I'm so grateful for that. Had so many experiences of connecting with falling apart, connecting with falling apart, letting go. Guided people like little Isaac through a ceremony, let it go, and then he disappeared, let it go. Guided a lot of people into their first Hape experiences, let it go. Had such amazing, profound experiences by serving, let it go. And then realizing I felt safe enough to play inside that container. It was so important. And that's how I do a lot of my teaching now. Is when I have a container, I know that it's safe, especially a group container. I remind people, hey, you've got this, I trust you. Give them a few basic parameters. I've only invited you because I've had this level of trust, and let it go. And the less that you feel like you know, the less that you actually need to do. Just be. You're not here to prove yourself to me or anyone else. Let it go. It can serve someone just as much to be able to witness, to be able to facilitate, as it is to receive. Let it go. The stories we keep telling ourselves, especially the stories of connection or needing to connect with that one person or dreaming of that one person, they can serve as an anchor point. Let it go. Right now, for example, Aubrey is an anchor point for me. And then let it go. Ask and let it go. Ask and let it go. Ask and let it go. And then doing the work and getting to the point now where I'm actually posting so much stuff publicly. So much stuff. Let it go. What if there was something to seeing sunrise? Let it go. But what if I'm living the life I'm wanting, designed to live already by seeing sunrise and having this hour and a half? And eventually, even if my family's up at the same time, letting go of, oh, I didn't get that time to myself. It's letting go even of this, because right now I'm attached to this magic mirror work in a way. And I'm attached not from a bad way. I think I'm still diving into the depths of myself, remembering to move, remembering to stretch. remembering it's for me even when I'm being witnessed, but letting it go. And then letting go of the future version of me, a year from now even, who says, I need to still be doing this. Maybe I do. Maybe I do it for 10 minutes. Maybe I do it while my family's around. Maybe I can actually say it out loud even when they're around, because I'm like, this is fucking for me. Why can't I do this when there's other family members around and there's other noises? Because it's not about just me. It's not about me delivering a great message to someone. It's a practice for this message over and over again. Remembering those key moments, like pulling out a softball-sized piece of poo from like a 7-year-old girl, because it was so backed up, because there's so much anxiety there. And now that I'm learning about this, probably because they were missing out so much of the sunshine, getting so much of this blue light, really backing things up as well. Noticing that, like noticing everyone in the extended family are on screens all the time. How are we not getting outside into the sunshine enough? How are we not getting outside into the sunshine enough? Playing outdoors more. And that's what my son's always trying to do when we go there. Let's play outdoors and let's actually have more of that. Today, let's get outside some more. I'm gonna get outside with him some, and then I'm gonna go rest. I'm gonna get outside with him some, and then I'm gonna go rest. And really honoring that he just wants to be outside. Really honoring that impulse inside of him and letting it go. Even if it's raining, even if it's the worst weather, if he wants to be outside, do what I can to support him, because I'm also supporting me. He's getting me outside as well. Like I said, he's my greatest teacher. All right. There, I'm stepping into the shade of the fire, and I set fire to the rain. It's interesting moving files around on the computers, noticing how many hundreds of gigabytes of video data I've already created through these videos. It's absolutely fucking insane. And it's an easy metric to remind myself that I'm actually doing the work. And that's why I like it. And I'm using that metric to my benefit without being consumed by the metric. I am not a content creator. In a way, I'm a creator of contentment. I'm a creator of contentment. It's so much fun to play with words. Spiritual work doesn't have to be serious. It can be fun. And that was a really big learning. I'm grateful I dived into the work with so much pain, so much psychosis, so much intensity, so much death initially, to get to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I can see the life-giving nature and really living. If you're not feeling alive right now, and you know it, then what's stopping you? What are you willing to pay? What are you willing to invest to feel alive? More alive. If you're just thinking, I just need to do another training, I just need one more credential, then this isn't for you, because this is a rediscovery of you, for you, by you, through you, as you. If you're like, oh, just tell me what it is I need to do, there's guidance, there's facilitation, planting of seeds. And in this planting of seeds, guides, facilitation, you awaken to what you really want, and then recognize that you can't get it right and you can't get it wrong. Or you're getting it right and you're getting it wrong. Both are okay. It's a paradox of life. Playing that infinite game. When it comes down to it, Part of the work I do is playing Calvin ball. That's my life right now. Changing up the rules over and over again, recognizing that there are no set rules. Most of the rules that are out there are not rules. They're guidelines, they're understandings, they're consensus reality, they're patterns, they're choices, they're fears, their excitements, their desires. Rules and ruler, and my own sovereignty, and inviting you into your own sovereignty. And how do we be sovereigns together, having overlapping kingdoms, queendoms, fiefdoms, being able to really step into the archetype of king, queen, sovereign. And as I step into my archetype more, it allows others to step into their archetype more. That's the beauty of the true king. It's not now you must be subjugated to me. And there's a safety sometimes in feeling like you can just be a subject. And I say just because there's, like when I go to a theme park, I don't want to go there and say, now I'm running the theme park. I want to go there and say, I am a subject. When I go into a ceremony, I don't want to be the one that everyone's revolving around. It's fun to go into participant mode. It's fun to go into participant mode. And a self-inquiry. Noticing where and when I am willing to take up space and where and when I'm not willing to take up space. Where and when I'm resisting. I'm just imagining right now, I've been thinking for about a minute on Dr. John Demartini, bringing him out here, maybe even having his session at the Brew Creek Center and combining what he's teaching with some breath work and other modalities so that people are getting a more holistic experience and shifting it from 2 days to 3 days. And so people are getting a little bit more time, including for himself, maybe receiving a little bit of breath work, receiving a little bit of guidance, receiving a little bit of love. For him to actually be able to enjoy a little bit more and just notice when he's pushing versus actually being. For being on land that's different than what he's used to versus being in a hotel ballroom. And just noticing all that and noticing the cost may be slightly different as well. The cost may be slightly different. And if we have 40 to 50 people, maybe some of them will be up in luxury tents or something else like that. I don't know what kind of capacity they have for lodging there. But there will be a place like it. There will be a place like it. And however many people is however many people we have. More examples, more hot seat stuff. This is being with the heat of the fire. The heat is on. The heat is on. The heat is on. The heat is on. So, I've got the heat on. I've got the juice on. I've got the recording on. Is there anything else I need to say? I'm going to be having a call with Judy soon. And just whatever I have done or I have not done, I'm worthy of love. Because I got stories. I fuck this up, fuck that up, fuck this up, fuck this up. Ruminating. Screw up. I'm not trying to get someone else's blessing. I am going to screw up at times. I am going to say shit. I am a little kid at times, especially when I'm around what feels like an adult in the room. And that's the piece I can notice. I go into my more childish state, not childlike, childish. And letting go of that. That's when I know that I'm not actually serving myself. Childish versus childlike. I'm really good at the childlike. Childish, a little more challenging. And can I forgive myself for being there and ask for forgiveness? The part that wants to manipulate. And own it. Thank you, fire. Thank you, fire. Thank you, fire. All right. Oh. Thank you.